Hi everyone. So this is going to be the first episode of a YouTube channel I'm making called My Drunk Astrology. So I'm going to give astrology lessons while drunk. So if you'll excuse me, I'm about to go do shots with my mom. I've been drinking. So while we were doing vodka shots, my mother and I watched a movie that was on demand where a zombie and a human compared dick sizes while Zooey Deschanel ran naked across town in the rain. I'm actually sure that it was Zooey Deschanel. It was definitely a woman. Anyway, hi. So this is my channel, My Drunk Astrology. So the thing is, I feel like a lot of astrology texts, right? A lot of websites, a lot of books get very sort of fancy whenever they talk about this stuff, right? They'll talk about how, like, Pisces is the window to the soul. And that shit does not very accurately describe your ex-boyfriend who smoked too much weed and was kind of passive-aggressive. And that's fine. You know, people are ratchet. People are kind of a mess, right? They'll, they burp a lot. They fart a lot. They tell you in front of your grandma how they're sexually attracted to Voldemort. And that's fine. That's funny, right? I think that stuff is really amusing. So I wanted to find a way to describe astrological concepts in a way that was earthier and kind of ratchet, because that's what people are. People are kind of ratchet, and I thought that would help me use the archetypes of astrology in a way that better represented actual people. A lot of people say astrology is vague, as though that's a flaw, and that's the whole point. I don't think people get that the reason this works is you're not describing anything exact. You're describing very broad archetypes. You learn more about yourself in the process. How do I relate to this? How do I not relate to this? One of my biggest pet peeves is when people say astrology is pseudoscience, because nobody's calling it as science. None of this has been tested. Calling astrology as pseudoscience is like walking out of a shoe store and saying that was the worst petting zoo I've ever been in. What the fuck do you think the SW stands for? Like, shut up. And I was saying to myself, what's a fun way to describe the 12 archetypes of the zodiac? And I was like, everybody could use a little bit more citrus in their life. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to compare each one of the 12 signs of zodiac to a song on Beyonce's Lemonade. First up is Aries, which is represented by Sorry. Aries is a sign that's noted for its enthusiasm, right? One of the crazy things about Aries as a whole is they manage to communicate their enthusiasm to other people. One of the weird things about Sorry is we're all mad at Jay-Z. You hear that song comes on the radio and you're like, fuck him, middle fingers up. And it's like, he didn't cheat on me. I wouldn't marry him. Have you seen that face? Have you heard his verse on Monster? Not on my watch. But anyway, point is, Aries is represented by a lot of enthusiasm. It's going for what you want and not being apologetic about it. It's fighting people who try to get in your way. In my experience, they're not necessarily angry so much as they are impassioned, right? Aries is that friend who says to you, we have to go karaoke. Don't you love karaoke? Let's go to karaoke right now. You're like, Laura, I never said I liked karaoke. You're the one who likes karaoke. No, I'm not. No, but you love karaoke. No, your boyfriend loves karaoke. I'm not your boyfriend. Taurus is all night. Tauruses are known for being stubborn sometimes, right? They're the bull. And sometimes they can be, but they're also associated with love, right? And they can be very fixated. They can be stubborn about people they care about, right? After this whole long album, she made a whole album just to vent her anger at her husband. At the end of it, she still loves him. All Night is sensual. All Night is kind of touchy-feely, and that's a very Taurus thing to do, right? They're really into, like, food, wine, the finer things in life, right? And it's also clear on what it wants. It's goal-oriented, right? It is in it for the long haul, and even if things might be tricky sometimes, Taurus knows it's all going to work out in the end. Next up, we have Gemini. Anyway, Gemini is represented by the song Sandcastles. A cute way to interpret my pairing of Sandcastles with the sign of Gemini is that it's about forgiveness. This is one of the first songs on the album where she makes a concerted effort to patch things up with her husband, right? This is the first song where she is trying to see things from his perspective. This gives Gemini the reputation for being two-faced sometimes, or kind of people pleasers, right? Because they understand so many different perspectives. They want to show all these different perspectives at the same time. And sometimes they show two different perspectives that are contradictory. They understand both of them, right? They don't think they're lying, or they don't always think they're lying. But it doesn't really make any sense to us. That's all true, but I'd also like to point out that Sandcastles is fake as fuck. She wrote a whole album talking about how she's mad at him. Where the fuck were you during Don't Hurt Yourself? You're not over it. You're not over it. You're not fooling me. I'm still mad. Sorry comes on the radio and I hate Jay-Z. I'm not over it. You wanted me to get mad. I'm still... Cancer is daddy lessons. Cancers are said to have a really good memory, right? And they are emotional, but through the lens of home and family. They have the stereotype of being nurturing. That's not always the case, right? It's that they care about roots. They're also emotional in a way where they try to communicate that emotion to other people. Honestly, they can also be kind of moody. She spends the entire chorus of this song telling us how she wants to shoot him. The other reason this song is affiliated with Cancer is all those annoying people on your Facebook newsfeed who were saying, I didn't like country, and then Beyonce put out daddy lessons, and now I like country. They're all Cancers. Don't ask me why. That's just how it works. Leo is represented by Hold Up. First of all, Hold Up is one of the songs that is the most iconic on the album and the most important, right? It's the one that everybody's talking about. It's the one that got all the Tumblr gifts. It's the one that everybody's been quoting. See, that's us. That's it. Oh, yeah, I'm a Leo. Why is that relevant? I don't know how you noticed, but we think we're important based on the way we care about other people. She thinks she's important and that her love is important because she cares more about him. In this case, it's true, right? She's married to him. She's known him for a lot longer. The way she loves him is different from the way that everybody else loves him, right? Leos, we think we're great, but we also think our friends are great. We think our family's great. We care about other people so much to a point where it's kind of ridiculous, and those people take on part of our sense of self. Now, granted, we might think of ourselves as better than we actually are, right? We might care about other people a lot and still care about ourselves a lot more. The accusations that Leos are conceited may not be wrong, but that's something to consider. Virgo is love drought. Virgo is associated with love drought because Virgo is associated with very high standards. Virgo is linked with Mercury, right? Which has to do with details and noticing things. Virgos are very fixated on details, and that means they can be very fussy, right? Virgos have a stereotype of having kind of a rod up their ass. And to some degree, that's right, but that's also because they know what's good, right? They have a good eye for what looks nice, what sounds nice, what's clever. I've heard that Virgos are fun drunks because of the people at the corner of the party that can hold their liquor well, and they're not going to be dancing on a table, but if you go up to them and talk to them, they're going to be funny. They're going to have something like devastatingly witty, and they're not going to call your attention to them. They're not going to be screaming like, look at me, right? They're kind of cool. Love Drought is the song on the album where she wants to forgive him, and she's kind of trying, but she's still real mad. She says something about moving a mountain. Let's be realistic. He cheated on you. Let's not go rescaping geography. It's about hard work, and it's about high standards for things that you care about, right? High standards that are meaningful. It's about noticing things that nobody else will notice in the interest of making things better. Well, that was a lot of astrology and kind of a lot of alcohol. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, that's the first 6 signs of the zodiac. That took quite a while. So rather than doing the next 6 signs, tune in next week on a Thursday for me getting drunk and being rude based on your star sign about the other 7 signs of the zodiac, so Libra through Pisces. If you strongly identify with the song that I chose for your star sign and can think of any other reasons why it's a fitting choice, by all means, let me know in the comments. Subscribe, tune in next week. And if you think I chose the wrong song, fight me. You're wrong. I'm sorry. Leo is hold up. This is not negotiable. It's just I'm right. You're wrong. I win. You lose. I love winning.